Alrighty, so we are at about the halfway point of the series. We're halfway through the planets, and like I said, we'll probably finish it off just going through like the final 62 card set at the end. So this is the fifth video, so yeah, at the halfway point. And yeah, I'm really keen for this one. As you can see, there's a lot of cards in this. For some reason there's a card hiding in the back there that I didn't structure correctly. And dude, this blurred out card is a really rare. It's the boss of the new cyber archetype, which you can see a couple cards for already. Honestly, aesthetically, the way the artwork works with like the template and the colors on the template, it's got to be my favorite looking card aesthetically. It is like a fan favorite. I'll just explain it when I get to it, but I'm pretty keen for it. And yeah, pretty keen for the whole planet profile, to be honest. We wanted to I just plump up Teklar's card pool, so I think everything in here is playable rather than just going with like three broken cards. So like not all of these will be able to fit with the current Teklar cards in the one deck, but you're gonna have like different options in how you deck build and your style of Teklar deck that you go for. So to start us off, we have a little just a two card sort of archetype, I suppose, similar to the Scardians. And we have the monster. Both are designed and drawn by Wash. 400 health, 280 power, 7 stars. It's reasonably statted. But you know, vanillas aren't great, but it's got the ability your opponent can only attack this own creature. So it's like it's whatever. I mean, the effect isn't great. It's essentially a vanilla with an effect. Because they can just kill this first and then kill the other creature that this is like protecting. Right, but the good stuff is when we get to Dr. Techstein. So 150 power, 90 health isn't great. It's a rare and it's got the ability once per turn you may free play one killed the monster. So one of this guy, which is already just good for his stats. And then while this creature is zoned, other zone Teklar creatures cannot be attacked. So now you're just forcing removal because while he is zoned with the monster can't be attacked. And while the monster's zoned with him, Dr. Techstein can't be attacked. So like you're just forcing a removal, which is pretty good. Your opponent's gonna have to pop one of these guys up. Removal is pretty abundant, so it's not like this is gonna be some broken combo. Um, but there's gonna be a lot of spots for the opponent where it's inconvenient. These are pretty easy to get out, and with like Telecom's help, you can just loop Dr. Techstein a good couple times. So like the hardest part of the combo is gonna be getting the monster killed because it's gonna be hard to justify cosplaying 7 stars for something with mid stats like that. And Tekla doesn't have any other good like universe boundary targets, right? So it's going to be hard to justify going -1. So that's going to be the hardest part of the combo. Once you get that up though, you're going to be able to like go a couple back-to-back Doctor Tech signs. You can pretty easily with like Tomb and things and Talacon's Helm, you can pretty easily get like 3 in a row and force 3 turns of removal in a row, which is just going to be crazy. And then you get to go into like a Talacon, right? And have them attack that. Talacon works best when it's attacked because if it does get free played back, then they don't have like another option to kill it. So that's going to be good to make way for him. Like, I don't know, these guys work pretty well. And yeah, I've been building Tekla decks with them in and without them in just because Tekla now has more options when it comes to deck building. And yeah, this is going to be pretty interesting to see how that played. So yeah, this one's drawn by Washed as well. Next we have Hinge Snake, also drawn and signed by Washed. 3 stars, 160 power, 80 health. Not great stats at all. But when this creature's cosplayed, look at the top 5 cards of Galaxy and put them back in any order. Crazy. I haven't tested it generically, so I don't know how good it's going to be outside of Tekla. Like rearranging the top 5 cards of your deck is good, but deck space is pretty tight where I don't think it'll be close to those generic staple kind of cards like Thunderbolts, Wacky Mans, Droplet Squads, Dark Sparks, Piece of the Conjurer's Amazon. I might be wrong. If you guys think I will be wrong, let me know. I can simply restrict it to Tekla. I don't know. I just thought maybe it would be cool if this sort of enabled a Tekla package outside of Tekla. But maybe it is just broken generically because the thinking I was going with was in Tekla, this card didn't even feel like it was like blowing the world away, right? So why would it just be played outside of Tekla when it works better in Tekla? Because you get to set up things like Steam Cranker, you get to set up things for Talacons and top scanners. Like that is a good part of the effect too, and just rearranging the next five cards of the deck's alright as well. But yeah, since it doesn't go like +1 or anything outside of Teklar, I'm not sure it will be too strong in there. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this card, and it sets up a lot of Teklar's combos, which is good. In Kazarax, you get to like play this and then put the combiners you want coming up soon on top of the deck, so that's pretty nice. And yeah, it's a nice card to have as a little body. Because right now they're dealing with having to use Top Scanner for this sort of stat line and star cost, and Top Scanner's alright, does the job, it goes +1 like 50% of the time. But I think this adds a nice other option and more versatility to the planet as well. Next, Tuxedo by Harry. 60 power, 120 health. The stats are fine, but the ability's pretty good when this creature's killed by an attack, and two killed Teklar creatures with 5 stars or less to the top of your galaxy in any order except this card. Right, so it just can't loop itself forever, which I don't think would be problematic, but I suppose it's a nice fail-safe to have in there. And you just get to add you could go Top Scanner and then a random tech like creature like Lightning Squads, then on your next turn play your Top Scanner, draw a card. You could go random tech like creature, and then Steam Crank and then cosplay tech like creature, get your Steam Crank back. That I think is pretty good because Steam Crank's a great card to free play. You can just go get Lightning Squazzers back to sort of stall. Those cards are good. You can get a couple of archetype cards we'll look at later back, and they are important because sometimes you like to sacrifice some of your smaller cards in that archetype. You can get your Dr. Techstein back as well, and then you can loot more of the monster. I think it's a very good card. 60 power is enough where you can kill Droplet Squats and Droplet Squazzers, Thunderborks generically. And then as well, you can kill things like Lionel and Shape Knights if that's ever up. It's not up too much. Angel Squads you can kill. Um, you kill all the blue flames, including things like Obsidian Blob. I want to say there's one other card of blue flames that can kill. Um, in other planets as well, you can kill small things as well. But I'd say those are the main ones, right? The blue flames creatures, and then Droplet Squads, Angel Squads, Lionel, Thunderborg. So you're going to be able to get value off it. There's things like KO, Fried Fractal Leg, where you can kill it. It's not just going to be a wall and a blocker that doesn't do anything right. So I think this card's pretty good as well. Next we have Wind Up Toy. I think this is the last generic tech lock card before we get into the archetype. And this card's drawn by me. I'm actually pretty happy with the way the art came out. It felt a bit rushed, but I don't know. He looks like a cool looking dude in the picture. And it just reads, look at the top 5 cards of your galaxy. For each Teklar creature revealed this way, search a deck for a Teklar that's meant to be for a Teklar creature and put it on top of your galaxy. Um, so yeah, you're looking at the top 5 cards. So if you see Steam Crank, you can free play it, similar to the, where was it? Hinge Snake, similar to the Hinge Snake. If you look at the Steam Crank in the top 5, you can just free play it. And then for each Tekla card revealed this way, so most of the time you're getting about 2 or 3. You can just search your deck for 2 or 3 Tekla creatures and put them on top of your galaxy for combos like Top Scanner to draw a card, put a Tekla creature next. Like I said before, Steam Crank is good to free play. Talacon, you can search for any creature for Enderman's Telescope, right, to get it that turn, which is a cool combo. That includes Hyderon, right, which is going to be great. I just thought seeing in the background the Ground Kazarak, I might also make this be able to work with combiners too, because that would obviously be a really good search for the Kazarak archetype. So I think that could be a good idea as well that I'll fix up that I've just seen then. And yeah, I think this is a great card. I think it's going to play a similar role to what Zamtree plays in Giles, and I think every planet deserves a card like this that can just set you up nicely for the future. Um, and obviously, this has more setup ability than Zamtree, right? It's more flexible, so you can search. But you actually lose card advantage since you don't gain anything back. You're just putting it on top of your galaxy, which means you do need a combo to get your advantage back and justify it. But you have more opportunities to combo with this card, right? So I think it's pretty balanced. Um, Next, yeah, so this is the archetype. So the Cyber archetype, all cards are drawn by Sprite. I love his art style, it's awesome. And basically the lore for this, again, fan-made lore, right? It's fan-made set. But the scientists on Teklar are looking at creatures on other planets, and things on other planets and terrains and stuff, and they're trying to copy those and optimize them, and make them better, improve them, and make like robotic cyborg sort of versions of those creatures, right? So all these cards are going to be cards that are already in the game, but drawn in like a robotic, sort of cyber technology kind of way, hence why the archetype's called cyber. So I think from a lore perspective, that's pretty dope. And you're going to see in some of these artworks, you're going to see some cards that recognize them that are already in the game, and they're going to be redrawn by Sprite, and it's pretty dope. So the first one, Cyber Belt, based off Helper Belt. Helper Belt just reads pay 3 stars, add one Galaxy Detachment card to your hand. Oh, and so all these cards, because they're like remade, the remades be better. So they're all taking like what the initial card did, but doing it better, right? But they're restricted to the archetype, so it's still balanced. So rather than adding an attachment card to your hand, you can add any Galaxy Cyber card to your hand, and you don't need to pay the cost, right? So this is just your generic searcher for the archetype. It comes in a resource, you don't have to pay any stars. It literally flips itself into any card in the archetype. So the scientists kind of cooked on this. It's probably one of the best archetype searches in the game, right? And yeah, the artwork's pretty cool on this. Next, Cyber Factory. This is where it's all made. And they're producing a constant flow of these cyber creatures, cyber resources, and whatnot. So once per turn, add one killed cyber creature to your hand. You're going +1 each turn. A lot of people might think that's broken, but Perms really struggle in this game with things like Serpent running around, with Jackra running around. I feel like there was one more as well. And then each planet has sort of, or most of them have their own good specific removal, like Calamask and Barrow, Tamagrop, Ingiles, and in this set there's a couple more cards that generically kill permanent resources because you don't want permanent resources being polarizing, where it's a matchup thing. If they have removal, then you're cooked, and if they don't have removal, then they're cooked. You don't want it to be like that. You want it to be like, this card's strong, it's going to last me anywhere from like 2 to 5 turns. When they get their removal, they're going to play it, and then, I've gained my advantage, and that's what I want permanent resources to be in this set. So yeah, for each turn this is on the field, except first turn, you're going +1 in card advantage, which is great, right? If this is on the field for 3 turns, you're going +2. Although it is limited to only cyber cards, and obviously it's clogging up a resource zone, so there's downsides to it. But yes, very strong card. And you've got your searcher, and you've got your recursion, and the archetype's set up pretty well. I really do think it ticks most boxes. Next, we have Cyber Bagonk. Bagonk, one of the favorite cards in this deck, and it's got that little battery thing on the back, and it's got its little spear on the side. It's pretty cool. So we see it costs a little bit more than the OG Bagonk, but it's got 50 more power and health. And all your zone cyber creatures can attack the opponent's planet, even if your opponent is zone creatures. So this, just by itself, is essentially a worse version of Bagonk, right? Because you're still hitting for 1 point. You can't even synergize with Starship XXS. But I've found it to be a really nice finisher with the deck because you can bring it back with Cyber Factory on command or search it with Cyber Belt on command. You can just play it as a 1 copy in the archetype, and it's honestly not a big deal. And you just bring it out when you need it to get that final like 6 point swing, the 5 point swing, and you pair it with another cyber creature, which I'll show you later on. Originally, this just allowed all Teklar creatures to attack the opponent's planet. That was a little bit too crazy, I felt, and I did want it to be a closer with the cyber archetype rather than generically with the Teklar. So yeah, here we are. Pretty happy with how this turned out, and you'll need to remember this card when looking at the cards later on. Next we have Cyber Kubox, obviously based off Kubox Keeper, costs an extra star, has an extra 50 power and health, and when this zoned creature is killed, free play 1 killed 4-star or lower Teklar creature, or add 1 killed Cyber Factory to your hand. So that's just generically when it's killed, whether that's by attack. It is only when it's zoned, so killing from Galaxy in hand won't work. But if it's killed by removal or attack, you just get to free play another 4-star or lower Teklar creature. So like your Dr. Techsteins, your Lightning Squazzes. You can get your Cyber Bagonks back. I've done this with another card in this set. You shouldn't be able to free play a killed Cyber Kubox and loop it forever. So I'll tweak that as well. But you can get your Cyber Bagonk from this archetype. Steam Cranks. There's a lot of things. Another good one is the Tox Eater, right? Because then when this gets killed, you get an effect too. So yeah, and you get your Cyber Factory to your hands. So like I said, I want there to be more permanent resource removal played, which means you also need a way to get it back, right? So when it lasts its 2 to 5 turns or whatever, when it gets killed, hopefully you can get it back within 2 to 3 turns once your Cyber Kubox pops up and dies. So yeah, it's a pretty good card for the archetype, and it synergizes very well with the boss, which is amazing. It's comparable, I think, to cards like Jakra, to Serpent. I wouldn't say like Octorius is on the same level as those, but it's definitely close for Shape Knights. It's on the same level as Glah. It is in line with Serpents, Jakras, and Glaz, where it's like a two-card combo. It's free play as well, so it's going to keep up tempo with this format. Its stats are very killable, so unlike Serpent, it shouldn't be too obnoxious, and you don't actually gain any card advantage from it as well, which is different to the rest of the cards, right? But it interacts with zones, which we definitely needed more of. So I present to you, and maybe I've been hyping it up too much, Cyber Moosh for 380 power, 250 health, 7 stars. So again, one more star and 50 more power and health than the original. I love the like black and white and grey theme, but then those pops of that like greeny turquoise aqua kind of color, and then you got like the background ability boxes of the same color, and you got the white borders. Like I don't know, it all comes together so well. And once we can get those stars fixed up to a color as well, oh man, like it'll look awesome. And the creature, the card reads similar to the original Moosh, which everyone loves the artwork of, by the way, which is why this card like has to be competitively playable because the artwork's dope. Um, and it just reads you can free play this handed creature by killing one of your own cyber cards. So probably Coup Box is your go-to because if you kill this, then you just flip it into another creature and then you're not actually losing any advantage, unlike a card like Serpent. And if you do remove all of your opponent's battle zones, all of them. So most of the time that'll just be two, and the opponent will have to pay 6 stars to get them back. So you can almost view it as your opponent loses 6 stars. But with things like Dog in the Game and Zamazed, those zones can be gotten back easier, especially like Soulstring and Tomb can bring those cards back. Um, and as well, Zomatal in like Blue Flames is the big one, right? Because originally I was playing this card, and it could only remove 2 battle zones. It was still good. It was still a great card. Like I mean, you're getting a free body at the end of the day, but just sometimes, when it was two, they would just use their leftover Zammers and dogs. I say they as if it wasn't like me. And they would get those like extra third and fourth battle zones, and then this never really had an impact unless it was back to back, which happened a fair amount. I just wanted this card to be broken and then need to tone it down because I wasn't exactly sure where its power level landed. So we're going broken, and then hoping to tone it down later. But yeah, I think it's pretty reasonable if you view it as your opponent loses 6 stars, which for most cases it is, right? And then it's just a good counter against those decks that do tend to go wider, which is mainly SKs and Blue Flames, right? The two best decks in the format easily. So yeah, in love with this card, everything about it. I think it gives Tekla that broken X factor that people are going to be pissed about, that people are going to ask to be nerfed and banned more out of just rage and salt rather than the card actually needing a limit or a ban or something. But yeah, like I said, I am open if it is too crazy to tone it down to 2 battle zones because it should still be good then. But yeah, that is everything. I mean, I think it's my favorite planet profile so far. Because the planet just gets so much depth and options. There's so many ways to play Tekla now, and you're just simply not going to be able to fit all these cards with all the good Tekla cards currently, plus your staples, plus your good generic support cards, plus any tech cards you need for the format. Where we really should see Tekla have 3 or 4 different ways to play the planet, which is amazing. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this planet profile, and I'll see you for Gaius in the next one.